Hey there. I don't know if you've heard, but there's a great new radio show on Para X. 2 hosts, 1 hour, and too much fun. Stephanie and Heidi not only talk about the latest goings-on in the supernatural worlds, they live it. They want to hear from you. They want to help you understand and guide you. And they want you to tune in. So, grab a friend or come alone to gather around that metaphysical table with Heidi and Stephanie. If you're interested in the worlds of the unseen, tune in to the Gathering Radio Show, Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern on Para X Radio.
Hi, this is Barry Fitzgerald, and I'll see you in the shadows.
Your source for everything paranormal. Para X. The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Para X, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
Welcome to another Monday night here on the Shadows Radio. I'm Rebecca.
I'm Monica.
Woohoo! No.
Woohoo!
I mean, yes! No? Not so much?
Woohoo!
There you go. It's actually Tuesday.
We lied.
We did lie to you. We only lied a little bit.
White lies.
No, it's not even Monday. I can't even say it's Monday somewhere because it's not Monday somewhere. If it was Sunday, I could say it was Monday somewhere.
You're getting too technical on this one.
Oh, just drink your wine.
I will. Thank you.
So, just as you guys know, we've been pre-recording some shows for you to put some content on the air while we are attending to some family things. So, that's what this is.
That is what this is.
So, it is Tuesday. We did a show yesterday. That was exciting. We talked about Bigfoot poop. So, if you know when we talked about Bigfoot poop, then you know how long in advance we've been recording this show, just so you know. So, if you want to go back and do some investigative research, you can figure that out. But for those of you...
About Bigfoot poop?
Oh, yeah.
I missed the show yesterday. I'm so bad.
Well, you have to go back and listen to it on demand.
I'm going to have to go back.
How do you find it on demand?
I don't know. Tell us, Rebecca.
You go to theshadowsradio.com and click on any of the on-demand links. All of your streaming services are listed. If they're not listed, let us know. We'll find a way to put it on there.
Awesome.
Etc. 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 All right. So tonight, we're going to talk about the things.
Jersey Devil.
I know. We here in the Philadelphia area have our claim to fame that we have stolen from New Jersey because New Jersey does not deserve it.
And they have weird streetlights.
And the fact that they can't turn left. Why is it New Jersey can't turn left?
Because it's Jersey.
Everywhere. In order to turn left, please turn right past the intersection and go backwards. You're like, what?
Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
We're sorry. You must stand on your head. Recite the syllables of all the Declaration of Independence while gargling water. Just to turn left.
Or wine.
Yeah, exactly. No, I don't know why Jersey can't turn left. But anyway, we are going to talk about the Jersey Devil tonight. So if you're not familiar with the Jersey Devil, you may be familiar with him as his other name, which is the Leeds Devil. I'm going to say that because in all the research that I was doing, it kept coming up as the Leeds Devil. But in my number of years of living here in Philadelphia,
I think it's honestly because we're from this area. I've only heard of the Jersey Devil. I've never heard of the Leeds Devil until you sent me this stuff to read.
That's what I said. And like I said, all my research that I was doing were written by sources local, but they were calling it the Leeds Devil. And I'm like, I don't know what the Leeds Devil is.
That's because the Jersey Devil just sounds so much scarier because it can't turn left.
No, it's fine. Just run to the left because we're from Pennsylvania.
Run to the left. Oh, wait, you can't go there. You're going to get eaten by the devil.
We're very sorry, sir. You can't turn left. Where's the devil go? Oh, he has to make a U-turn around that tree up there, and that'll be right there.
No, it's not U-turns. It's those coldest
jug handles.
Yeah, that's it. Those don't make sense to me either.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you're not familiar with the Jersey Devil, who can't turn
driving,
left, or the Leeds Devil, he is a flying biped, which means he stands on 2 feet, who has hooves for feet. It said to
claws sounds so much better.
That sounds like a rock band. Hooves for claws.
That's what we're naming our band now. We can't play instruments, but that's what we're naming our band.
We're never going to get through this. So anyway, he's a flying biped with hooves for feet, who said to hunt in the Pine Barrens of southern New Jersey and kind of central New Jersey too. Like he kind of covers a lot of space.
Where exactly is the Pine Barrens for people that are not from this area?
Well, I was going to tell you after I told you what he looked like, but sure.
Just jump right into it.
I'm just going to jump ahead. All right. So the Pine Barrens, also known as the Pines, the Barrens, the Pinelands, depending on, again, where you're from and which source you're looking at. It's a highly forested area of coastal plain that's about 7 counties in New Jersey. It's roughly 1.1 million acres or 22% of the entire state of New Jersey. So it's a big area.
Big area.
He has a lot of room to play. It's called the Pine Barrens because the area is like super sandy. It's acidic and it's very nutrient poor, which makes it kind of odd in the way that everything grows. So you get these little pygmy pines that grow, which are like little short dealies, and then they got these really tall, like giant pines that grow.
So it's either really tiny or really tall and nothing in the middle.
No, there is though, because there's wild orchids that grow, which is bizarre because I didn't know orchids are actually wild. I thought they just came from like the nursery down the street. I didn't realize that they came from
Plant
nature.
wildflowers at some point, and you're going to see what kind of stuff grows on your lawn.
Yeah, usually weeds. But there's also they're very big on like Venus flytraps and other carnivorous plants.
Wait a minute, there's Venus flytraps in the
There are naturally occurring carnivorous plants. People eaters.
Feed me, Seymour.
Yes, exactly. And like they control this whole area with like wildfires just to keep everything down.
Seriously?
Yes, they set fires to keep it from getting too dense and whatever. But I imagine that the meat-eating plants grew because they were like, stop setting me on fire, you ass. Like,
I'm going to eat you.
I'm going to eat you and your dog.
I'm going to get you and your little dog, too.
Okay, but it was called the Pine Barrens because the settlers couldn't cultivate traditional
grow anything.
Well, they couldn't take. They came from Europe, where like everything was very fertile and green and stuff, and they came here to this very sandy, acidic soil, and they didn't know how to plant their traditional crop. They started calling it sugar sand because sugar prohibits growth.
Yeah.
But much of the area became very rural and undisturbed, and there's about 15 people per square mile according to the 1970 census.
I need to move there.
Just for comparison's sake, there's about 1,000 people per square mile.
I don't want to move there.
In the Philadelphia area and in surrounding areas. So leaving aside big cities, which obviously are the exception to this rule. So if you're talking about suburbia, urban or rural areas, there's about 1,000 people per square mile in most of the country. I'm sorry, in most of the eastern mid-Atlantic states. That kind of thing. So right around New Jersey.
All right.
In the Pine Barrens, there are 15 people per square mile, which means you can shake a stick and not hit any neighbors.
I suddenly want to move there and get one of those
shaking a stick.
Get off my damn lawn! No, and get one of those pumpkin launchers and just.
They do that. Okay, but most of the Pine Barrens are under the 1.1 million acre Pine Barren National Reserve now. So even if you wanted to move there, unless it's a pre-existing building, you probably aren't going to own a piece of the Pine Barrens.
That sucks.
Sorry.
All right. Dream crusher, I meant.
I am all about crushing your dreams this evening.
I know you are.
Smash and bang, all that thing.
Yeah, I love you too.
Of course you do.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the Jersey Devil. Do you know what he looks like?
I don't know because I don't think anybody's actually seen it.
Stop trying to read my notes.
I can't read your notes. Even with my glasses on, I can't read your notes.
All right. So the most common description that people say, and bear with me on this one here, is a kangaroo-like creature with a goat.
A ghost? That would be so awesome if it had a ghost head.
It has a ghost head. Yeah.
She meant goat.
Goat. Bah. Goat.
Do goats say bah?
Said meh. Goats say meh. Don't make fun of my goat voice.
This episode's just going.
We're only 11 minutes in and we haven't even gotten past the first paragraph yet. So, kangaroo-like creature with a goat or horse head, leathery bat wings, horns, and small arms that end in little clawed hands. and cloven hooves and a forked tail. It moves quickly, supposedly, and emits a high-pitched, blood-curdling scream or shriek.
So basically, you just described my kids.
Yeah, pretty much. Or
awesome.
Any unknown predator in the wood, but you know.
All right, cool.
All right, so the legends.
It
goes like this. Are you ready? Everyone sitting down next to their wildfire with their s'mores? S'more. There's an H in that word. I just added that in there. All right, so the story is that the Lead family was part of the southern New Jersey town of Leeds Point, so they helped found the town. In 1735, Mother Lead had 12 children. When she found out she was pregnant with the 13th child, she cursed the child out of frustration, crying out that the child would be the devil himself.
That's a bit extreme.
Quote, "Let this child be the devil." End quote. And this is what people say that she claimed. She says they said that she stood out in the field and yelled it out to the sky, and
she's obviously under distress.
She was pregnant for the 13th time. I'm going to say probably.
Yeah, that's too much.
Father Leeds was a drunkard who made little effort to provide for his family, and the family was already struggling with 12 children to feed already. When Mother Lead went into labor on a stormy night, all her friends surrounded her. It was a very difficult birthing, and the child was born a normal baby boy and was by all accounts healthy until it uttered its first cry. At that point, it sprouted horns from the top of its head, and talon-like claws tore through the tips of its fingers. Leathery bat-like wings unfurled from its back and hair, and feathers sprouted all over the child's body.
Wait a minute.
It sounds like it became a chicken.
And feathers?
Yes, it had hair and feathers.
Okay.
Sounds like a angry chicken. Its eyes began to glow bright red as they grew larger in the monster's gnarled and snarling face. The creature savagely attacked its own mother, killing her. Then it turned its attention to the rest of the horrified onlookers who witnessed its tempestuous transformation. It flew at them, clawing and biting, voicing unearthly shrieks the entire time. It tore the midwife limb from limb, maiming some and killing others. The monster then knocked down the door to the next room where its own father and siblings cowered in fear and attacked them all.
I think the father deserved it.
Well, yeah. It killed as many as it could. Those who survived to tell the tale then watched in horror as the rotten beast sprinted up to the chimney, flew up, and destroyed it on the way out, leaving a pile of rubble in its wake. The creature then made good its escape into the darkness and desolation of the Pine Barrens, where it has lived ever since. The creature now lives in the Pine Barrens and attacks anyone who comes into its path. So there's another version of the legend, just real quick, that says that Mother Lead was a witch who made a deal with Satan herself for her 13th child because she wanted a 13th and couldn't have one.
I have heard that version of it.
And also that Mother Leeds was so disgusted by the 13th child's transformation that instead of this creature freaking out and escaping, that she actually opened the door and demanded he leave. Lead and leave, okay? Leave me alone.
I know, it's a lot of elves. I'm just backing you up, girl.
So one more version is Mrs. Shrouds of Leeds Point made a wish that if she ever had another child, she wanted it to be the devil. Her next child was born misshapen and deformed, and she sheltered it in the house so that others couldn't see him. And on a stormy night, the child flapped its arms, it turned into wings, and escaped out the chimney, never to be seen again. Mrs. Bowen of Leeds Point said the Jersey Devil was born in the Shrouds house at Leeds Point. So those are kind of like the versions of the story that I've heard over the years.
Okay, there is a version I heard. And ours was, the one that I heard was more about a birth in Leeds Point, and it said that a young girl fell in love with a British soldier during the Revolutionary War, and the people of Leeds Point cursed her. When she gave birth, she had a devil. Some people believe the birth of the devil was punishment for the mistreatment of a minister by the Leeds folk. That's the one I've heard. But there is a movie that this is really making me think of. Do you ever see the movie It's Alive?
No.
Okay, this is an old kind of B movie. And what it was is this woman had a baby, and the baby was like a monster, and it came out and it literally attacked every single person in the room and ate them. And then there was another
short movie.
There was another one called it was great. It was a great B movie. And like it was waiting outside the house and attacked the milkman and killed it and then drank all the milk. It was awesome. And then
there was drink the milk too.
Like it was a baby, it needed milk. And then there was a second movie called The Island of the Alive, where there was multiple babies like this and they all sent them to an island. But I'm getting off point, so Rebecca can take over.
I don't know how to follow that up.
I'll explain my B-movie
You have
obsession later.
You have a little B-movie addiction over there.
Well,
some of them sound a little more Z-class, but that's all right.
My mom used to work late at night, so she would wake me up when she got home from work, and we would watch USA Up All Night with all the great old B-movies, so it was awesome.
Okay. Gotcha.
I love this stuff, sorry.
No, that's fine. So I've never heard the British soldier version. I
never heard the Leeds version, so this is pretty interesting.
I always heard the Leeds version. My father was born in the Pine Barrens, and that was one of the things. Like, we always when we went scouting, we would go out and see the Jersey Devil.
So he'd actually go out and try to find the Jersey Devil.
Well, no, I mean he as a Boy Scout, they would go out camping, and one of the things that they always did around the campfire was tell the story of the Jersey Devil, and that was the story that you always heard, the 13th child of the Leeds family. So
that's pretty awesome. I can talk to your dad later about this. This is
you
pretty
can.
Cool.
I shall introduce you. And
I've met your dad.
Connect you? I don't know. That sounded weird to say.
Reconnect.
That sounded weird to say. I shall connect you to my dad. That just sounded weird. So I said, introduce you. Beep. Okay. So I did some digging into the actual historical fact of whether or not there was a Leeds family. Like, could this legend actually be true? Do I think there was a demon baby? Meh. I've seen some pretty ugly babies in my life. I don't know if I would call them demon babies.
No. There's no ugly babies. Every baby is beautiful. Just shut your face.
No, there's some pretty damn ugly babies.
But shh, we don't say that to the listeners.
No, we don't say that to the mother of the baby. We say that around the baby's back, but not to the mother.
No, behind the mother's back, not the baby's back. The baby doesn't know what's going on.
That's true.
No, but I think
Coochie, you are the ugliest baby I've ever seen.
I think it would probably be more that maybe the baby was born with a deformity. Back then, they didn't really know what a deformity was. So they would look at
that baby looks weird. That's a deformity.
No, but they would look at the baby and say, no, that is the devil. That seems a little more.
There are occasions I see children at the mall that I point at them and go, that child is the devil.
No, that's just because the mom didn't take the time to brush their hair. But still. Or tell them how to behave.
Yes.
But still, we're getting off point. I think a deformity is probably more realistic than...
Did you just tell me I'm getting off point?
Yeah, I know. That's sad, isn't it? No, but a deformity back then would make more sense than saying that child is the devil.
Oh, no, yeah. No, they didn't really... That. So that makes a lot of sense.
They were a little more ignorant, I hate to say. Back then, they didn't have the knowledge and the ability to really comprehend what was going on. Mm-hmm. As far as that stuff.
So, all right. So I did some digging into the Leeds family, like I said. So the Leeds family of Leeds Point South in South Jersey shows up in the historical record as early as 1630. And that's the first time that they actually show up on any kind of census records or property management, anything like that. Japhet Leeds and his wife Deborah had 12 children, listed the 12 children by name on their will. The will was dated 1736, and it would put the Leeds' 13th child around the time of the first appearance of the Jersey Devil. So that's when a lot of people seem to think that Japhet Leeds and his wife, their 13th child, would have been...
They just didn't put it on the will.
Well, I guess it doesn't say whether or not the child was born when the will was created, kind of thing. There are some other theories that say that the Leeds Devil was named because of Benjamin Franklin's rival Daniel Leeds. Leeds was ostracized by his Quaker congregation after he published an almanac creating astrological symbols and writings in 1687, and the books at the time were considered too pagan. In response to the censorship, Leeds began to publish so many books on esoteric Christian writing, occultism, mysticism, cosmology, demonology, angelology, and natural magics. So basically, they were like, your book has astrological symbols on it. You suck. Out of the church. And he was like, hey, look what I'm going to publish. And he published like this.
They're like, haha, you worship the devil. Get out.
And he was like, no, I'm just going to keep publishing more. So basically, he turned that into a whole thing.
He's pretty awesome.
By the 1690s, Leeds converted to Anglicanism and was openly criticizing the Quaker faith and the church and everything that he had belonged to. And he even started in public disputing and in writings actually criticizing the theology of the Quaker religion at that point. Mm-hmm. The Quaker Burlington meeting of Southern New Jersey dismissed Leeds as, quote, evil and a blasphemer. His third wife gave birth to 9 children. His second wife and first daughter both died in childbirth. Daniel Lead was granted a tract of land in Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey, in what is now called Leeds Point. He actually got this from the British Crown, not from a colonial government, but that is the first record of a Leeds owning property in southern New Jersey.
Makes sense.
The land was passed to Leeds' son, and part of that tract is still in the Leeds family today. So there are actually still Leeds around. Anytime you see a documentary on TV about the Jersey Devil, there's at least one Lead family member who's interviewed, and they always go, "It's not about us. We don't have a demon in our past." Like, it's always the same interview.
We don't know. It's just a story passed down.
It's the same deadpan so. In 1716, Titan Leeds, who was the son of Daniel, who inherited the family business and the tract of land, continued the astrological content and publishing that his father had started. As kind of like a big old bleep you to Benjamin Franklin.
Yeah.
He intensified the rivalry between the Leeds family and the Franklin family. And Franklin satirically predicted the date of Titan's death using the Leeds family's own astrological publication, which I think is kind of like I don't know if it was like a playful, kind of friendly rivalry thing, but it sounds to me like he was like, I'm gonna publish all this astrological stuff, and Franklin was like, well, guess what? You publish it, I'm gonna tell everybody when you're gonna die. F you too.
So this is like 2 steps away from like hearing.
It's I don't know what's going on.
Whip out the banjos, guys. We're going to have a rivalry.
Franklin claimed that it was satire and a joke, and he basically said, he's like, I didn't actually believe that it's true, but I published it because I thought it was funny.
Yeah, to use
their own charts against them, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But Leeds took great offense to the joke and publicly admonished Franklin, calling him a fool and a liar. And to call Benjamin Franklin a fool at the time was akin to like slapping him across the face. So Franklin continued the rivalry by claiming that Titan had really died according to his prediction, but was continuing his publications as a ghost, resurrected to haunt and torment Benjamin Franklin.
So basically,
I think at that point, Franklin loses credibility.
Basically, this was like the when you go in the grocery store and you see like the National Enquirer type thing.
Exactly,
and
yes.
Be like, haha, you're a ghost and you're publishing this stuff, and
posthumous publication by ghost.
False news.
Exactly, it's all fake. Oh,
where are we at?
I don't know. The computer.
We're right at the Lead family crest.
Well, I know that. Yes, there is a raven, which is a bat-winged dragon-like creature that stands upright on 2 clawed feet.
And they're not helping their cause there.
Exactly, because it matches the Jersey Devil's description.
They're really not helping their cause there by saying, we do not have a demon in our family.
Yeah, my family crest is the Jersey Devil. I mean,
but he doesn't exist in our family.
How do you pronounce Wyvern? Wyvern? It's the Jersey Devil.
Sure.
All right, so the Leeds family.
I want to know what that looks like.
Well, you have a phone in your hand.
I'm going to Google it. Shut your face.
Don't make me throw things at you.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time.
It's very true. So, all right. So now we've got a Leeds family. They obviously have been in the area since the early 1600s.
Yes.
Some of them had too many children. Some of them
back then, I don't think they had birth control, so obviously...
Well, some people don't have birth control today, but regardless.
That's kind of messed up.
Yeah,
so this is basically what a wyvern is, and it literally is like a dragon type.
It's the Jersey Devil. So their crest is the Jersey Devil.
Look at it.
Yeah, it's a Jersey Devil with a dragon face rather than a goat.
So they're not helping their cause.
Yeah, so they need to rethink their symbol there. All right, so... when does the actual Jersey Devil start showing up? When do you think?
When people least expect it.
That's the Spanish Inquisition.
I really don't know.
Right,
I would think if you're alone in the Pine Barrens.
No, I meant like what time period did the Jersey Devil start showing up?
Oh, I don't know. I lost my pace. Maybe around the 1800s.
Okay, yeah. Okay. So he started appearing in the late 1700s, early 1800s. It started out as kind of like an oral thing of like, did you hear what Johnny saw in the woods? That kind of thing, like that kind of oral tradition that was passed around from small town to small town.
Yeah.
But the story spread super quick, and most accounts use quotes from Franklin about the Leeds family being monsters, and they would use that to kind of cement their story.
So childish was like the Franklin family was like, your family is monsters.
Well, you know what? I'll be honest with you. Benjamin Franklin, the more and more I dig into some of the stuff that he's actually done, he really was kind of like a big old jerk. Like, if he didn't like somebody, he would just sit there and like thumb his nose at people like, you're a monster. Your family a monster. Like, it was like these childish.
It's so childish, right?
I mean, he did so much stuff. Don't get me wrong. He did a lot. He invented a lot. He put himself out there for a lot of things.
Course.
You know, he definitely hung his neck out there.
Yeah.
But it's almost like he did everything as a joke. Like, I don't know. It
like,
just, to me,
I'm right, you're wrong, this is how it's going to be. Nanny, nanny, boo-boo. Like,
it kind of is a little nanny, nanny, boo-boo. Like, really? Okay. So, like, there's a lot of stuff that he does that's kind of like, really? That's a little childish, dude. Like, and I don't know. Maybe we don't call Benjamin Franklin.
But nobody was really going to argue with him back then.
That's
you know,
true.
it's
nobody
like,
argued with Ben Franklin. Like,
you
just patted him on the head and stuck him in a corner.
It's like, dude, you just took a kite and put it with a lightning storm and electrocute yourself, essentially. We're not going to argue with you, dude.
Actually, I feel like if somebody did that, they would take that away and be like, no more toys for you. Why are you playing with metal and lightning? You ding dong. Yeah.
I apologize. I say the word dude a lot when I talk, so
I say dude all the time. It's all
I know.
All right, so stories of the Leeds Devil, and this is kind of where the idea of the Leeds Devil came in, where they were originally started calling it the Leeds Devil, and I'm thinking it's because of Benjamin Franklin, but it's become the Jersey Devil over time, but we're going to call it the Leeds Devil for now. So the story of the Leeds Devil started appearing in the mid-1800s. In 1859, the Atlantic Monthly first published an article detailing the Leeds Devil and the ties to the actual physical Leeds family. The Leeds family took great offense to this and called the newspaper a quack, but, you know. In 1887, a newspaper, the Elkhart Sentinel in Burlington County, printed a description of an unknown creature spotted in the Pine Barrens. You want to read the description?
So, hold on. Basically, Benjamin Franklin, like, really kind of promoted this more than the Leeds family.
Of course he did. Why would you want to be known as the family that birthed the demon? Like... Why are you famous? Like, I'm not famous for founding a town. I'm not famous for astrological book writing. I'm famous for birthing a devil.
He gave them more publicity than they were even like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but sometimes bad publicity is not always good publicity.
No, all publicity is supposed to be good publicity, remember?
I feel like this is not the same thing.
I'm sorry. If somebody went around saying that I gave birth to a demon, devil, like, childlike thing, I'd be like, heck yeah, that's my kid. Are you going to mess with them? No, you're not. That would be pretty awesome.
And then they would pat you on the head and commit you to an insane asylum. This is a whole different time period, honey.
But then that would be a nice little vacation for myself, especially if I'd already had 12 kids.
That is true. You might need a little break.
A little silence would be nice.
Where are you? I'm taking a crazy vacation. All right.
Let me read this.
Go ahead. From the Elkhart Sentinel in 1887.
So they said whenever he went near it, it would give a most unearthly yell that frightened the dogs. It whipped at every dog on the place. I apologize. I'm reading from my phone, so just bear with me, guys. That thing, said the colonel. I told you I'm reading from my phone. This is kind of hard to scroll. Look, Rebecca gave me a really big glass of wine, so please really bear with me. Okay. It's not a bird nor an animal. It's Superman. No, he really didn't say that. But it's the Leeds Devil. According to the description, it was born over in, how do you say that, Rebecca? Esham, Burlington County, 100 years ago. There is no mistake about it. I never saw the horrible critter myself, but I can remember well when it was roaming around in the, how do you say that again?
Evesham.
Are you sure that's right?
Yes.
Okay, Evesham Woods 50 years ago. And when it was hunted by men and dogs and shot at by the best marksmen there were in all South Jersey, where they're really good marksmen in South Jersey.
Apparently.
Okay. But could not be killed. There isn't a family in Burlington or any of the adjoining counties that does not know of the Leeds Devil, and it was the bugaboo of frightened children with when I was a boy. So basically, they're kind of saying this happened, blah, 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 but it's an old wives' tale to scare kids.
Yeah, so they basically, that's exactly what they said. I never saw it myself.
I never saw it myself, but let me frighten all the children around.
Yeah. So the first written account using the name Jersey Devil was actually from 1909, when the big Jersey Devil sightings started. So I'm going to run through some of these. So bear with me on this timeline here. All right, so Commodore Stephen Decatur first spotted the creature during a visit to Hanover Mill to inspect the cannonball forges. And this is in the early 1800s, late 1700s. He spotted the flying creature and fired a cannon at it. However, he apparently missed.
Yeah.
Because it's not dead yet. So that was the first big sighting of that one. So Joseph Bonaparte, who's the elder brother of Napoleon, claims to have seen the devil while hunting on an estate in Bordentown, New Jersey in 1820.
Wait a minute, he was actually over in the States?
He owned a house in South Philly.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's right on the corner from where I used to live.
Oh, sweet.
It was this big, ugly, gray thing. Anyway, sorry.
Okay.
In 1840, the Leeds Devil was blamed for the rash of livestock killing. In 1841, the Leeds Devil was blamed for more livestock mutilation, and the first reports of the blood-curdling scream that accompanied the attacks it started to be reported.
Okay, so we can just say aliens didn't mutilate the cows. It was
correct. It was the Jersey Bagel. What'd you say?
Jersey Devil.
Oh, Jersey Bagel.
Bagels sound kind of good right now, actually.
I was like, what? There's no. I mean, yes, Jersey has some decent bagels, but I didn't know they were demonic. Okay.
I don't know. It depends on how it goes down.
Yeah. All right. From 1859 to 1894, the Jersey Devil was seen numerous times and reportedly carried off anything that moved in Haddonfield, Bridgetown, Smithville, Long Branch, Brigantine, and Leeds Point. W.F. Mayer of New York noticed while visiting the Pine Barrens that most locals would not venture out after dark at this point. The devil was sighted by George Sarosi.
Sarosi.
Yes, Sarosi. There's two A's in there. It's throwing me off. Saarosy.
It's pronounced Sarosi.
Sarosi. It's like Leviosa. No, sorry. He's a prominent businessman, and he saw it right at the New Jersey-New York border.
Oh, come on, not Brigantine. That's where I go to the beach at.
Sorry, there's Jersey Devil and Brigantine. Notice it did not go to Atlantic City.
Crap.
Well, I was afraid of the hookers. So
we all are afraid of the hookers down in the lake.
January 16th through the 23rd, 1999, however, was a very big time period for the Jersey Devil. He apparently had his caffeine that week. Because listen to this, ready?
Yeah,
newspapers reported hundreds of claims of the encounters with the devil from all over New Jersey that week. Hold on, I just lost my scroll. Here we go. So, Thack Cousins of Woodbury, New Jersey, saw the flying creature with glowing eyes flying down the street. In Bristol, Pennsylvania, which is just over the border from New Jersey, John McCowan heard and saw a strange creature on the banks of the canal. Patrolman James Sackville fired at the creature as it flew away screaming. E.W. Minister, postmaster of Bristol, Pennsylvania, also saw the bird-like creature with a horse's head that had a piercing scream. And when daylight came, the residents of Bristol found hoof prints in the snow. Two local trappers said they'd never seen tracks like that before. Allegedly, the creature then attacked a trolley car in Haddon Heights, New Jersey, and a social club in Camden. Police in Camden, New Jersey, and Bristol, Pennsylvania both claimed to have fired on the creature during these attacks, but did not hit it.
Did you just say a social club in Camden?
Yeah, well, Camden used to be a pretty ritzy town. Used to be.
Now there's just the aquarium.
And
the battleship in Jersey. Oh, we really need to do that one night because I had some great experiences on the battleship in Jersey.
And I digress. Okay. Other reports of unidentified footprints were found in the snow around the perimeter of many New Jersey towns. The mysterious footprints were over and under fences, through fields and backyards, and across the rooftop of houses. They were even reported in the large cities of Camden and in Philadelphia. The Lodens of Burlington, New Jersey, found hoof prints near their yard and around their trash, which was half eaten. Almost every yard in Burlington had these strange kind of hoof prints walking through them, and the prints went up the trees. They went from roof to roof, disappeared in the middle of the night. Disappeared in the middle of the road, and stopped in the middle of open fields, almost like the thing walked to a point and then took off.
Well, I was just going to say, if the thing could fly, then why is it walking up the trees?
To leave terrifying footprints, of course.
But if there's
terrifying footprints. How are people going to know that it was terrorizing them if it didn't leave footprints?
Well, my kids leave footprints, but that doesn't terrorize
me. They're pretty terrorizing,
too. Pisses me off. Yeah, but some of this is just weird. Why would it just go in the trash?
We're talking about a kangaroo-like bird creature with bat wings and a goat head. Come on.
Bat kangaroo.
We can't sing that.
Okay.
So, all right. So where was it? Okay, so all these tracks seem to stop in the middle of the open fields. The same tracks were also found in Columbus, Heading, Kinhora, and Rancocas, which is always fun to say when you're driving up the turnpike. A hunt was organized to follow the tracks, but the dogs refused to follow the trail. I've never seen a hunting dog refuse to follow a scent, but on the 19th of January at 2:30 a.m., Mr. and Mrs. Nelson Evans of Gloucester were awakened by a strange noise. They watched the devil from their window for 10 minutes. Mr. Evans described the creature they saw. Quote, "It was about 3.5 feet high, with a head like a collie dog and a face like a horse. It had a long neck, wings about 2 feet long, and its back legs were like those of a crane. It had a horse's hooves. It walked on its back legs and held up 2 short front legs with paws on them. It didn't use the front legs at all while we were watching. My wife and I were scared, I tell you, but I managed to open the window and say, 'Shoo!' And it turned around, barked at me, and flew away." End quote.
Hold on.
Good to know that the word "shoo" chases away the Jersey Devil.
Time out. Wait, he said "shoo" and it barked at him. Not once did they mention any of the previous things about it barking.
This is very true. Barking is new. I'm wondering if barking is just kind of like an odd noise.
A mangy dog.
Well, it could also be he didn't know how to. Well, what dog do you know walks on his back legs with a wings? It says it's got 2 feet wings, 2 foot long wings.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. If you see something like that walking through your yard, who in their right mind is going to go "shoo" or "shoo" or
maybe that
"shoo"?
was his cleaned up newspaper version. I'm pretty sure he opened the window and said, "Get the bleep out of my yard."
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure back then everybody had some form of a firearm in their house, and I would shoot at the thing other than say "shoo."
Maybe that's what.
Or even get the bleep out of my yard. I mean,
maybe that's what he meant by "shoo." He just couldn't say that.
Maybe he threw his shoe at it.
Possibly. All right. So, reported sightings of the creature are widespread through New Jersey and as far away as Delaware and Western Maryland. 2 professional hunters claimed they tracked the devil for 20 miles in Gloucester. The trail jumped 5-foot fences and went under 8-inch spaces. So they were following this thing through what seemed to be impossible.
Hold on. So it jumped over 5-foot fences and it could get under 8-inch spaces.
Yeah. I don't know about
how can something that's supposedly around 3 feet tall get under an 8-inch space?
Magic. Also, it's the devil. All right.
It was little Nicky.
Gee. Another trolley car full of people saw it in Burlington when it scurried across the tracks in front of their car. In West Collingswood, it appeared on the roof of a house and was described as ostrich-like, which is the first time we've heard the term ostrich. Maybe it wasn't just an ostrich that escaped. Firemen turned their hoses on the creature, and it attacked them and then flew away. In Collingswood, New Jersey, a posse watched the devil fly off towards Moorestown.
A posse. Wow.
Near Moorestown, John Smith of Maple Shade saw the devil at the Mount Carmel Cemetery. George Snyder saw the devil right after Mr. Smith, and the descriptions were near identical. In Riverside, New Jersey, hoof prints were found on rooftops and also around a dead puppy.
Oh, no!
I feel like I shouldn't have hauled because I knew it was in there, but I still kind of feel bad.
It doesn't matter. That's because we were just looking at pictures of Wookiee-like puppies.
I feel bad for the puppy.
Oh, come on. I need to go cuddle something.
So, again, this is all happening, by the way. We're still within the week of January 19th through the 23rd of that year. What year was it? I forgot. 1909.
No, I kind of learned something from this. You really need to stay away from Burlington, New Jersey, because
you really do.
They really mention Burlington a lot.
Well, I think Burlington's also the center of the Pine Barrens. Pretty like if you were to kind of map it out, I think Burlington is kind of the middle of the Pine Barrens. It also is one of the biggest cities in that area.
Yeah, but at the time it probably wasn't a big city.
But I mean, it was a bigger city than some of the small little villages.
So what? The Jersey Devil just wanted to trip to the big city.
That's it. He wanted to go. He wanted to go shopping.
He wanted to go big.
All right. So this entire week. So we're talking about January 16th through the 23rd of 1909. People reported their livestock, particularly chickens, were being slaughtered all over the place. Bridgeton and Millville, especially, had kind of like massive amounts of animal slaughter. It reappeared later in the week in Camden, where Mrs. Serbinsky heard a commotion in her yard. She opened the door to see the Jersey Devil standing there with her dog in its grip.
No!
Don't worry. Wait. Hold on, don't worry. She hit the devil with a broom until it let go of her dog and flew away. She started screaming until her neighbors came over. And 2 officers arrived at her house where 100 people had already gathered, and the crowd heard a scream from Kagan Hill. The mob then ran towards the creature. The police shot at it, and the devil flew off into the night. Okay, the dog was fine.
Okay. But
She smacked it with a broom.
A broom.
Hey, you use what you got. Apparently, if the word shoe does not work, smacking it with a broom will. Camden police officer Louis Strayer saw the Jersey Devil drinking from a horse trough in town. And sightings were so rampant that a fear and public panic swept through the area, causing schools to even close and workers to stay home. Vigilante groups and hunters roamed the Pine Barrens in search of the devil. So the Philadelphia Zoo, which is the oldest zoo in the world, in the country, actually offered a $10,000 reward. Now remember, we're talking about 1909, so $10,000 is a lot of money. Reward for the creature, which prompted a variety of hoaxes, including a kangaroo with artificial wings and glued-on claws created by Norman Jeffries of the Philadelphia Art Street Museum. Jeffries, with the help of animal trainer Jacob Hope, purchased the kangaroo from a traveling circus and made the costume. Jeffries claimed it was an effort to boost attendance at the failing Art Street Museum.
Seriously.
Yeah, so nobody ever claimed that prize. So I wonder if it still stands. If you still catch the Jersey Devil now, you think you could turn it over to the Philadelphia Zoo?
Yeah, but if it was $10,000 then, that's equivalent to...
It's probably still $10,000 now.
No, it's probably close to, with inflation and everything, close to what, $200,000 now?
No, I mean, if you turn in the Jersey Devil now, it probably still would only be worth
Are we going on a field trip?
I feel like we need to.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah.
I love field trips with you.
Woohoo! Woo! All right, so let's move on to 1925. So, like I said, 1909, when all that stuff happened, there was a big rash of Jersey Devil stuff that happened.
Hoopla.
But then nothing really happened until 1925, when a local farmer claimed to shoot an unknown animal that was attempting to steal his chickens. He took a photo of the corpse and claimed that no one who saw the photo could identify the creature. However, the photo has been lost to time. So that one's being attributed to the Jersey Devil. However, he killed the creature, so I don't think it is.
Hold on. Back in 1925, what kind of, camera equipment? It's not like he's whipping out a cell phone and,
Well, it's a dead body, so it's not a... He said he killed it.
So he said he killed it?
He took a photo of the corpse.
Well, he says he shot at it, but didn't
he took a photo of the corpse.
Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to, like I said, follow my phone. So bear with me, guys.
All right. In 1927, a cab driver on the way to Salem, New Jersey, got a flat tire. When he stopped to fix the tire,
the Jersey Devil offered to help him.
There was a creature that stood upright and was covered with hair that landed on the roof of his cab. The creature shook his car violently, and the cab driver fled the scene, leaving the car and tire jack behind.
I would too.
You know what? I've seen some people that live in the Pine Barrens, and I'm not entirely sure that this one was the Jersey Devil. Not that I am prejudiced.
Maybe he was just trying to help.
He could have been. He was like, here, let me lift that up for you. Hold on, let me jiggle it loose. Shake your car. In 1936, reports of the characteristic scream of the Jersey Devil were heard in the woods near Woodstown, New Jersey. Conveniently called Woodstown, New Jersey.
I wonder why.
And in 1937, an unknown animal with red eyes was seen by the residents of Downingtown, Pennsylvania. So if you actually map out Downingtown, it's about 100 miles west of the Pine Barrens. It's also a pretty ritzy area, so maybe it's just a bunch of rich kids who wanted to feel important.
Downingtown's not far from what, King of Prussia? It's not too far.
It's 100 miles from the Pine Barrens to Downingtown. I mapped it out.
Yeah, but we said the Pine Barrens was a very large area.
I know, but I mapped it from the edge of the Pine Barrens. Downingtown is 100 miles.
Okay, well, you said the edge of Pine Barrens.
Stop arguing with me.
I'm not arguing. I'm just trying
to... Read your notes. It says 100 miles on the paper.
She's mean today.
In 1951, a group of boys in Gibbstown, New Jersey reported seeing the devil while on a camping trip. This has actually become known as the invasion of Gibbstown or Gibbsboro, where people report seeing the devil in the area over a 2-day period. So this is again one of those
the invasion?
Because for 2 days the Jersey Devil was harassing
but wouldn't the invasion be more than one?
Don't get technical.
I'm just now. How do we know that there wasn't a boy devil and then apparently a girl devil? And they kind of
and had baby devils? I don't know. All right, hold on. The next one is my favorite one.
I can't wait to hear this.
In 1953, Philip Smith, and this is a direct quote from the newspaper, who was known as a sober and honest man, saw the devil walking down the street. I would just like to point out that is a quote from the newspaper.
I am sober and I am honest, and I'm telling you right now, I saw that devil walking down the street.
I am known as a sober and honest man. I want that to be my epitaph. Rebecca, known as a sober and honest man who saw the devil.
On your headstone, baby. She was known as a sober and honest woman.
Yes.
Lies.
All right, in 1957, a corpse that was supposedly matching the devil's description was found, but it was never proven that the corpse actually existed. It probably was some kind of hoax. In 1960, a series of tracks was found around Mays Landing, New Jersey, which is actually right near Leeds Point.
Yeah.
Not far from there. And for several nights, residents heard the screams and cries associated with the devil's appearance. And that year, some merchants in Camden offered a $10,000 prize to anyone capturing the devil and offered to build a private zoo to house the creature once it was found. At least they were offering to like put it up in a nice place. Like, you capture the devil for me, I'm going to build it a nice place to live. I'm going to build it a nice little cage, some nice little hay.
I don't think they were planning on building it nice cage.
It says they're going to host a private zoo.
I know what it says, but I'm
then
pretty
they were
sure
going to charge $5 a head.
Exactly.
Exactly.
But
I say they were going to make some money off it.
I don't think that was going to turn into a petting zoo at all.
It totally was. All right. We got to hurry up because we got to get through all these.
All right, let's go.
All right. Stop interrupting me.
All right. Sorry.
All right. In 61, two couples were parked in a car in the Pine Barrens. They were doing things. They heard a loud screeching noise outside the car, and suddenly the roof of the car smashed in. I think I saw a movie like that. They fled the scene, but they returned later, and again they heard the loud screech. They saw a creature flying along the trees, taking huge chunks of bark as it went along. So, okay. 1966, a farm was raided, and 31 ducks, 3 geese, 4 cats, and 2 dogs were... Why do they gotta pick on the dogs?
What the heck?
Two dogs were killed. One of the dogs was a large German Shepherd who had his throat ripped out.
No, not the shepherds.
I can glue it back in.
What?
Never mind. In 1981, a couple reported seeing the devil at Addison Lake in Atlantic County.
Oh, wow.
At Sean Lake, sorry. In 1987, in Vineland, an aggressive German Shepherd was found torn apart and the body was gnawed upon.
Come on, leave the shepherds alone. What the heck?
Well, it was an aggressive one, so it was an angry one.
Well,
if it was a nice one, it would have been, I would feel bad, but it was an angry one.
Well, maybe it's angry because it was trying to protect itself from the Jersey Devil.
The body was located 25 feet from the chain, which had been hooked to him, and around the body were strange tacks that no one could identify. Modern newspapers have stopped reporting sightings of the Jersey Devil.
Because we got the internet.
Exactly, because hunters and enthusiasts are still tracking claims on the internet. I found one site alone that claimed to have 2,000 reported sightings since 2002.
We really need a field trip.
We do, or we need people who have better hobbies. All right, so do you want to hear what some of the explanations for what, other than the actual demon devil child himself, kind of what the Jersey Devil could be?
Sure.
All right. So one of the biggest things that's purported is called actually a sandhill crane. So the sandhill cranes were extremely prolific in the area until man kind of overdeveloped and pushed them out into other areas. But the bird weighs about 12 pounds, stands 4 foot high, and is said to have an 80-inch wingspan. It's a pretty big bird.
As a big bird.
It's also excessively aggressive, and it will attack and fight when approached or if it feels like it's being threatened. And it has a loud scream that's heard for miles and sounds a lot like a whoop. Okay. It does not, however, have a horse's head, cloven feet, and it does not often kill and attack livestock.
This next one is my absolute favorite, and you have to read it because I'm going to start laughing hysterical at this one.
All right, so let's talk about the crane for a second. The crane actually seems to me like the original story could have tied to the crane because
it's kind of like whispered down the lane, like, "Hey, did you hear about this? Hey,
exactly.
Guess what it looks like? Guess what?" And it just gets twisted.
It gets bigger and bigger. So that's why I feel like the crane is probably a pretty viable option for some of the original.
The next one definitely isn't.
All right.
Sorry, I'm just staring at it.
I know. All right. So the next one, we might as well say it because I'm going to be like,
I'm going to laugh. Sorry.
Is a pterodactyl. There's a professor named Brauhoff who proposed that the Jersey Devil...
Name.
Yeah, sorry. Proposed that the Jersey Devil was actually a pterodactyl that survives in the area into the modern... I don't know why I chose error.
The modern error.
The Academy
also thinks it's pterodactyl, so
The Academy of Natural Sciences, however, did a study and found that no creature matching that description has ever lived in the area, let alone survived millions of years into the modern era. So I'm going to say pterodactyl.
As much as I wish that was true, because I love dinosaurs with all of my heart, that is just preposterous.
What was that? It was a pterodactyl.
What was that? Pterodactyl.
Although maybe the sandhill crane was misunderstood as a pterodactyl. It was just a baby one.
So Or one night in the Pine Barrens, the sandhill crane met a pterodactyl, and they had a love child.
They had a 13th child.
They had a 13th child, and it turned out to be the Jersey Devil.
Yeah. Okay.
All
right. So, you're the one that's next. Actually, is kind of what you were talking about before.
The
deformed
child.
So Jack E. Boucher. I'm not French.
Make it sound French, even if you can't say it.
Bouchy proposed a theory. Was that Japanese? What was that? All right. So he proposed a theory. Go ahead.
That the Leeds really did have a 13th child who was born with deformities. He claims in that time, it is common to lock a deformed child away in the house. When the Leeds parents died, the child was turned loose to fend for itself in the forest. But the child would be 174 in 1909 and most likely did not have wings. Now, here's my theory. I think it was a deformed child.
So the original
deformed
claims.
Child.
Yeah, okay.
But let's put it this way. Let's say it was a deformed child. It was like Hansel and Gretel and left in the middle of the woods. Or locked away, and then parents died, and it knew not what it did. It knew not what it did. I'm talking like Toby. I'm sorry. Okay, so
Toby is a free elf.
Somebody give that poor child a sock.
And we lost her. Yes. No. Honestly, I'm with you on that one. I feel like the original claims...
Because if the kid was deformed, they're obviously not going to educate the child if it's living in the house or whatever. If the parents died, it's just like, here, go on your own or...
Feed yourself. Yeah,
exactly. It's not like social services really, was back then. So, and it's totally plausible that this child went out, bless you, the child had needs, and it could have reproduced with somebody or anything like that.
Created a second deformed child? I mean, is that what you're going with that?
Well, but deformities are genetic.
That's true. Yeah, no, I see what you're saying.
And it could have just manifested that way.
Nope, absolutely. And I actually agree with you very much in that case. And I kind of feel like it's a mixture of not so much the pterodactyl, but the crane.
Maybe he reproduced with the pterodactyl.
All right, so I honestly, being totally serious here, I feel like the crane and the deformed child are probably what created this legend. So I feel like the Leeds family probably had a deformed child.
Yeah.
They probably, like you said, kept locked away until the child was either an adult
or they passed away, and then the child had no idea what to do on its own. And
none of this, or it got passed to one of its siblings, who kept him or her, kind of also locked up or in the attic or something. And what happened is that it was making these noises, or it didn't know how to communicate, or something was causing the story to build up around it.
Because if they didn't educate it, it wouldn't know how to speak modern language and things like that.
Hold on, before we go too far, we're not saying it to be disrespectful. We're saying it because we don't know if it was a male or a female child.
Exactly.
The legend says it was a male child, but again, we don't want to be disrespectful and be like, and it was actually a female child. We don't know.
Yes.
We also don't know if there actually was a deformed child.
Because it was all legend. It's all hearsay.
Yeah. So I feel like that was a big part of it. And then the stories go, it's one of those things where kids are like, ew, did you see the Leeds baby? And then it came, don't do that or the Leeds baby will get you. And again, it grew and grew and grew. And then you've got these cranes that are making these noises and, they're fairly vicious, supposedly. They're very aggressive. They'll attack when you feel like, and it would explain a lot of the descriptions that people are seeing where they're saying, oh, I wasn't doing anything. I looked out the window and it saw me and it flew away. Well, that makes sense for a bird.
Exactly.
Now, tying those two together feels like that's the natural evolution of this legend.
Now,
we solved it. We're done. No, sorry.
No, but also think about this way. There's also a possibility if the child was deformed enough and had enough deformities, because after 13...
was a pterodactyl?
No pterodactyl. Okay, don't say pterodactyl because I'm going to start laughing like a ridiculous person. Okay.
As opposed to what you've been doing?
Hey, at least I'm talking more this time.
Very true.
So, okay, that's because you gave me wine. No.
And a script.
And a script. No, but and a topic that I really, really like. No. No, but think of it this way. Think of it as a deformed child. There is also the possibility if there was enough deformities, they leave them out into the wild and just say, look, leave them in the woods, and then they turn into a feral child. Now, a feral child's not going to have any kind of formal education. A feral child is not going to have any way of speaking. They're just going to make noises. And they're going to be living like an animal. So that's also a possibility, too, that they just abandoned the child and the child turned feral.
And child is lucky to survive into adulthood if that's the case.
Exactly. But adulthood back then didn't actually last that long.
Very true. Yeah. But I mean, we're talking about someone who would be 174 in 1909 when this whole thing kind of blew up.
Could have been hearsay,
Yeah.
Legend.
That's why I think it's kind of like, I feel like the legend evolved. So it might have started with the deformed baby.
Yeah.
Or child or whatever, and then kind of like on the back of all these cranes. So basically it became like an urban legend of like, don't do that or the Leeds baby's going to get you. And then people started getting attacked by these cranes or whatever, or seeing the cranes in the woods, going, oh, that's the Leeds. And then it just grew and it just exploded. I could see how that's a thing.
There's one more we need to talk about.
Yeah. I just want to say, so we have about 2 minutes left.
Okay.
So before I want to kind of close on that one.
Okay.
But is there any other thoughts or theories that you want to put out there?
No, right now I'm good.
All right. So the last thing is kind of the idea of what is the Jersey Devil to the people of New Jersey, other than a really good tourist trap, because you will find Jersey Devil stuff all through the Pine Barrens, everywhere. There are Jersey Devil diners and, whatever.
Yeah.
But people consider the Jersey Devil a harbinger of war. And they believe that the Jersey Devil is this essence of evil and appears right before great conflicts. So it was cited right before the start of the Civil War, Spanish-American War, and World War I. Right before World War II, many residents were woken with hoof sounds on their roof. And in 1941, right before Pearl Harbor was attacked, it was seen again. He was also seen right before the Vietnam War.
Wow.
So it feels like if you go back and look at the timeline, it might be purely coincidence, but at the same time, it seems like it does kind of pop up.
The Jersey Devil is coming. The Jersey Devil is coming.
1 if by land, and 2 if by sea, and 3 if by pterodactyl. Yes. I don't know. I feel like that, like if you go back and look at the timeline, so it might just be purely coincidental, but it also does seem like it ties in a lot with like, and it might also be just heightened, like kind of anxiousness in the air of like something's about to happen. Obviously the political climate's really
so your
rough.
brain starts playing kind of tricks on you.
Yeah, they kind of like start like, okay, oh my God, am I hearing the Jersey Devil? What is something?
I'm going there and I'm getting a T-shirt that says I look for the Jersey Devil, and all I got was a stupid T-shirt.
All right. Well, on that note, I hope you guys learned a little something about the Jersey Devil. If you have seen the Jersey Devil, if you know anything about the Jersey Devil, you want to get in touch with us, remember you can always email us at rebecca@theshadowsradio.com, or let us know, find us on Facebook, etc. Let us know your Jersey Devil stories, because I want to know them all.
I'm really intrigued to see if anybody has any stories about it.
That's it, and that is us all for now. We'll see you all next week. As always, I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Monica.
And we'll see you in the shadows.
Bye, guys.